charge. He knew 2,000 years ago what would happen, and if the bad parts of Revelation are coming true, unfortunately, because of our sin, the good parts are also going to come true. So in the end, we win. In the end, humanity overcomes. In the end, it's a glorious restoration. It's a wholeness. So I've said this many times on the show. Our job is not to sit around going, woe is me, or let's worry everybody. Our job is to help other people get in the lifeboat of the Titanic is sinking. We've got to get in the lifeboat, and that's the saving blood of Jesus Christ. And we Christians, who comprise the majority of people in this country, have got to stand up for our beliefs and rise and shine, because look at the alternative. The alternative is such blatant darkness out there. Sure. So it's not judgment, it's light, it's love, it's goodness.
Let's go to Rick, first-time caller in Port Angeles, Washington. Thanks for holding, Rick. Go ahead.
Yeah, George, thank you, and Catherine, thank you very much for being there. I'm a student of religion and mythology, and I did a study on Revelations. And my understanding that when it was written, it basically was written for the time period it was in, around 68 B.C. Nero was out there destroying the Christians, burning them. Anybody mentioned that they were Christians, the neighbors found out about it. They were exorcised, put away. And when John wrote these things, which John was, I'm not too sure, because there was two Johns at the time that they have dates about. But Nero was looked upon as the Antichrist.
Yeah.
And he was looked upon as the beast. Rome was looked upon as the beast. And Nero's number in the Hebrew lettering comes out to be 666.
Well, let me address it, if I may. The many things in the Bible, the prophetic things in the Bible, have sort of an early foreshadowing and then a final culmination that hasn't happened yet. And when people talk about this, yes, there are some parallels, but there never has been a time, Rick, in which all people on the earth, as it says in Revelation 13, verses 16 through 18, in which all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and bond, will be caused to have a mark on their right hand or their forehead with a number in it to buy and sell. That's never happened. Back in those days, we didn't know the entire population of planet Earth. We didn't have Google satellites in the sky that could map out every square meter of the Amazon jungle. We've now identified all the people of the Earth for the first time in human history. So there never has been a time. There's been a time when people had to have numbers and other things happened, but there's never been a time when a universal number was imposed upon humanity and required to buy and sell, and people who refused to take it were beheaded for the testimony of Christ. That simply has not happened yet, and that's because it's coming. It's a future prophecy.
There's no question that the correlations between Revelation and events that are happening today, Catherine, are uncanny.
Totally. Even the recreation of Israel, the fact that Israel in the 1940s came back together again as a nation after thousands of years, centuries and centuries in which they wandered the earth, they kept their identity, they came back together and recreated the nation of Israel. This is something that people didn't think would ever happen, and yet here it is. And then you've got this idea of a one-world government. We're building it right now. You've got this idea of a beast that would be given life or something like life and would be able to speak. We're building these androids. Just go on YouTube. It's horrifying what's being built out there. We were told that there would be a number to buy and sell. When I was a kid, literally just a couple decades ago, you couldn't buy and sell with a number. There was no way to do it. Now, you can ask any 6-year-old, how do you buy and sell it with a number? And they'll say, well, what do you mean, a credit card, PayPal, my phone? Which form of number do you want? So it's all coming together exactly the way it was written 2,000 years ago. And in the same way, I know that Answers in Genesis, they often look back to Genesis and say, that's really if you understand Genesis, you'll get the whole Bible. Well, I would say it's kind of like bookends. If you understand Revelation, you can actually see the truth of the Bible around you, that we're living in it, that we're breathing, like they used to say, the old ad, we're soaking in it. We're in the midst of this massive spiritual battle. And if there's anything that people could pray for who are listening right now, pray for discernment. Discernment is the ability to actually see these spiritual truths, to actually see the battle that's raging, and to make intelligent, wise choices, like don't bring drop cam into your house and don't take your kids to Disney and put a magic wristband on their wrist to condition them that that's cool. You know, discernment, a little common sense. And then, again, I'm just going to repeat, we parents and grandparents generation have got to warn the children, because they don't know these things. If you did a poll, and I'm going to do one, it's part of my training from Harvard. I want to interview people who are 40 and up, and then I want to interview people up to age 40. And you are going to see a tremendous disparity of what they know about the mark of the beast, what they know about Revelation, what they know about the promises of the Bible.
No question about that. But you know, back to Disney, what's wrong with flashing your wrist and having everything paid for?
So it's a conditioning. It's the same. Is it the mark of the beast? No. If you put an RFID wristband, a magic band on your kids, are you dooming them to hell? No. But here's the problem. It's the same thing as the Social Security number, which our grandparents' generation and great-grandparents' generation protested. It's the same thing as all of these other concerns that people have about implanting microchips in the hand. It's conditioning. You're training kids to accept this concept that it's appropriate and proper to buy and sell with a number in your right hand. And once you accept the wristband, then how much further do you need to go before you've got something in or on the hand itself? If you look at the book, because I've got this flip book where people can just look inside, I've got a letter to parents and grandparents at Revelation Kids or Virtue Press, I won't take the mark.com. When you go there, if you flip to the back, you'll actually see a letter that I wrote for parents and grandparents. And I actually caution parents to tell their kids, hey, listen, we don't do face painting. Not because face painting is evil or it's going to doom you, but you need to teach your kids and train them how to learn to say, no, you don't put anything on my forehead. You want to face paint my cheeks, my chin, that's fine. My forehead, you don't touch. And it's really a training for how to stand up for yourself, for how to say no. And the same thing with these wristbands or payment schemes where people are giving palm prints or fingerprints for lunch. People need to say no to that. They need to oppose payment with the hand, not because what we're doing now is the mark of the beast, but because by accepting those things, we move that much closer to accepting the ultimate and degradation of humanity, and that is the mark in the right hand or the forehead to buy and sell. So it's all there. I've got, if you click on the homepage at revelationkids.com or virtuepress.com or I won't take the mark.com, they'll all lead you to the same place. You can click up the book, and you can actually make it really big, and you can flip through to the end, and you'll see my letter for parents and grandparents. You don't even need to buy the book. You can literally read the letter and see the cautions that I'm recommending so that we can train up a generation who knows how to stand up for their beliefs, who knows how to proudly say, this is my belief, and I don't cross this. You know, Jewish and Muslim kids know to say, hey, I don't eat pork. We need to say, hey, you don't mark my hand or my forehead.
Good point. Frank is in Oroville, California now. Frank, let's get you in here. Go ahead.
All right. Got in. Thank you very much.
Not much time for you, but we got you in. Go ahead.
Hey, great program. And, Catherine, I just want to say I concur with where you're coming from. I have a number of things I wanted to say, but I wanted to back up a couple callers where he was talking about specifically that all through history and, we've been saying this, the church has said this, people have tried to calculate Ronald Reagan. Never before have so many...
Oh, you there?
Uh-oh, we lost him. Oops.
Yeah, he is gone. Still there, Frank? Nope. He's gone. Oh, what a shame. The poor guy was waiting on hold.
He was on a roll. I know. I was
50 minutes.
To say.
50 minutes. Could you deduce what he wanted to say?
I couldn't. I don't know.
No, he didn't go long enough.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Sorry. You'll be back again.
So, one more time, I feel so passionately about this message that even if all you do is sit down with your kids and you just have this conversation, if you want to buy the book, that's great. That'll help fund my missionary efforts. I've been distributing this book in other countries, by the way. 3,700 copies to the Caribbean nation of Anguilla. We gave one to every single kid in the country earlier this
That's
month.
amazing.
Yeah, along with Bibles. So we did a week-long celebration of Anguillian Christian heritage. It's a wonderful place for a vacation, beautiful Christian island. It's called Anguilla. It's right off the coast of St. Martin, and we distributed 3,700 books. We gave them away for free. So I really have a passion for people passing on this information. And parents and grandparents out there, if you want to get it for a Christmas present, it'll be a lasting heirloom. It'll create a memory just like it did for me. If you can't afford to do that, if you don't want to buy a book, just sit down and have the conversation with your kids. Just do what my grandmother did and pass this information along, because we've got a cultural knowledge that we're failing to pass on to the younger generation. And even if they say, "Oh, Grandma, I don't, whatever," the reality is if you don't do it, they won't have it in their heads. If you do it, they'll be able to remember at some future point when they need to. Hey, wait a minute, this sounds like that wacky thing my grandma was saying. I'm of course referring to teenagers here. Younger kids, they're tender and they're open to the truths of the Spirit.
Well, that's the key to the whole thing. Catherine, thanks so much for being on the program. Catherine Albrecht, of course, her websites are linked up at coasttocoastam.com. Up next, The Ghost in the Coal Cellar, True Case Files from a Lone Investigator. And we're going to take a walk on the paranormal side with our special guest, Andrea Messich, and her work, The Ghost in the Coal Cellar, True Case Files from a Lone Investigator, and that'll be next. Okay, welcome back to Coast. Andrea Messich with us as we talk about her work. She was a skeptic about the paranormal until an incredible encounter with a ghost. We'll have her talk about that. Back in 2004 it occurred. She has studied the paranormal. She has practiced it. She has researched it. And now she's on Coast to Coast. Andrea, hi.
Hi. Thank you for having me. I've been a big fan of the show for years.
Well, thanks. I'm looking forward to this. We're all excited about having you on here. And tell me a little bit about how you were a skeptic and what happened to you.
Well, actually, it's kind of like a story of being baptized by fire, as they say. I actually did not believe anything paranormal. I used to, as a little kid, one of my big things I used to love to do was to get books from the library about Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, ghosts, and read them at night and, try to get scared by them. But for some reason, I just never could because I just thought they were funny, and I just couldn't believe them. Even at a young age, I thought it was just everyone who believed in the paranormal was crazy or nuts or, I just couldn't find a way to believe in ghosts or how it was even possible. My brother Andy and his wife Jamie actually are very big paranormal believers, and they were paranormal investigators before I even believed in the paranormal. And they would do a lot of things like go to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, or different kind of hauntings locally and just kind of do investigations or ghost tours. And I used to think that they were, kind of crazy. I used to make fun of them all the time. And I'm sorry, Andy, I'm sorry, Jamie. I have to admit, I made fun of them all the time. And then one day, my brother had come home from Gettysburg on another ghost tour with his wife. And he and my brother John and his wife, and they all went to this party, which was it was a big festival.